Welcome back, Math Masters. A new scroll has arrived at the dojo gates. Today, you'll begin training to earn the Line Graphs badge. Two cities, Lakefield and Stormville, recorded their average temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit over 5 days. Create a double line graph showing the temperatures for both cities. Use your graph to answer the following. Which city's temperature increased most consistently throughout the week? Between which 2 days did both cities' temperatures change by the same amount? And which city had the lowest single-day temperature? Study well. The path to mastery begins now.
Welcome back, Math Masters. We'll need our knowledge of interpreting data to conquer today's challenge. Have your guided notes ready. Training starts now. We've represented data on bar graphs and line plots. Today, we'll use another format, line graphs, which show data as points connected by lines. The axes of a line graph are the same as a bar graph. The categories go on the x-axis. In our challenge, this is the days of the week. The values being measured go on the y-axis, like the daily temperature. A line graph has grid lines that help us graph points, or dots, that represent each piece of data. Now, let's build our line graph together. Here are Lakefield's temperatures. On Monday, it was 35 degrees. How do we show this? With a point. Find Monday on the x-axis, then follow the line up to 35 degrees on the y-axis. Plot a point where the grid lines for Monday and 35 degrees meet. Let's try another. Tuesday was 45 degrees. Find Tuesday on the x-axis and follow the grid line up to 45 and plot a point. Great work! Pause the video here to plot points for Wednesday through Friday on the graph in your guided notes. Check your work. First, find Wednesday and graph a point where the grid line meets 50 degrees on the y-axis. For Thursday, go up to 40 degrees and graph your point. Friday is the same, another point at 40 degrees. Here's a training tip. Connect the lines from left to right on a line graph. So, draw a line from Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Wednesday, and so on. Now we've got a line graph representing Lakefield's temperatures. Let's continue our training by interpreting or making meaning of Lakefield's data. Which day was the warmest in Lakefield and what was the temperature? Where would we see the warmest temperature on the graph? The y-axis shows temperature, so the warmest day will be the highest point. That's this point, showing Wednesday was 50 degrees. Your turn. Pause to identify the coldest day in Lakefield and give its temperature. The coldest temperature is the lowest point, so it was Monday, which was 35 degrees. A line graph doesn't just show numbers. It shows how data changes over time. It tells a story. To better understand the story, we can look for trends in the data. Examine the lines on the graph. What do you notice? Some tilt up, some tilt down, and some are flat. These are trends, or changes that occur in the data, shown by the direction of lines on a graph. Here, the trends show how temperature changed from day to day. We read a line graph from left to right, like a sentence. The line from Monday to Tuesday points upward. What does that show? The temperature increased and got warmer. How much did the temperature increase by? We can find this by subtracting 45 minus 35, which is a 10-degree increase. The line from Tuesday to Wednesday also trends upward, meaning the temperature increased and got warmer. It's not as steep, so it increased less than it did between Monday and Tuesday. Increasing from 45 to 50 degrees is only a 5-degree increase. Between Wednesday and Thursday, the line points down. What does that tell us? The temperature decreased and got cooler. 50 minus 40 degrees equals a 10-degree decrease. Finally, the line between Thursday and Friday is flat. The temperature stayed the same, 40 degrees on both days. Subtracting 40 minus 40 is 0 degrees, proving there was no change in the temperature. So, determining trends on a line graph helps to make sense of the data. A line pointing up shows an increase, pointing down shows a decrease, and a flat line means no change. Let's test your skills. This graph shows the amount of rain Lakefield received over several months. Pause the video and identify the trend. Increase, decrease, or no change between the listed months. If the rainfall increased or decreased, identify by how much. How'd you do? From April to May, the line points down, showing the amount of rainfall decreased by 1 inch. From May to June, the line is flat, which means there was no change. Both months received 1 inch of rain. And between June and July, the line points up from 1 inch to 3 inches. The amount of rainfall increased by 2 inches. Great work, Math Masters! The first step of our challenge was to create a double line graph, which uses 2 lines to show and compare data from 2 different groups over the same time period. We graphed Lakefield's data. Now, let's add Stormville's. To plot Stormville's data, we'll use a different color and shape to set it apart. Let's make a key. Lakefield was plotted as a blue line with circular points. I'll plot Stormville's as a brown line with square points. Let's graph the first point together. On Monday, Stormville was 30 degrees. So, plot the point where the lines for Monday and 30 meet. Pause and graph Stormville's temperatures. Check your work. Pause if you need longer to compare. Now that we have both lines, let's interpret the data. Between which 2 days did the temperature stay the same in both cities? What does the graph look like when there's no change? It's flat. The lines are both flat between Thursday and Friday, so that means the temperature stayed the same. Your turn. Which city was warmer on Tuesday? Pause and give it a try. Here's Tuesday on the x-axis. Follow this line up, and we see the point for Lakefield is higher, at 45 degrees, compared to only 40 degrees in Stormville. So, Lakefield was warmer. Your challenge still awaits. Complete it, and the Line Graphs badge is yours. We created the double line graph together. Now, use your graph to answer: which city's temperature increased most consistently throughout the week? Between which 2 days did both cities' temperatures change by the same amount? And which city had the lowest single-day temperature? Pause to complete the challenge. What did you get for the first question? An increase looks like a line pointing up. Stormville's line points up throughout, showing its temperature increased consistently through the week. Next question. Between which 2 days did the temperature change by the same amount in both cities? From Monday to Tuesday, Stormville's temperature increased from 30 to 40 degrees, a 10-degree increase, and Lakefield increased from 35 to 45 degrees, also a 10-degree increase. So, between Monday to Tuesday, both cities' temperatures increased by 10 degrees. Finally, which city had the lowest single-day temperature? The lowest point on the graph is Monday in Stormville at 30 degrees. Amazing work! So, what have we learned today? We learned that a line graph shows data as points connected from left to right. Trends show changes in the data. And a double line graph lets us compare two sets of data on the same graph. You've earned the Line Graphs badge, but your training isn't over just yet. Be sure to complete the practice questions and extension activities that go with this lesson to continue to practice interpreting line graphs. And remember, Math Masters, in math, as in training, progress comes with patience and practice. I'll see you next time.
Hey, hey.